Hi and Assalamualaikum. Would you consider a disease in which, after being married for 50 years, you look at someone's face and realize you have no idea who that person is? Consider that person to be your parents. And when you go to see them, they don't even know your name, and even that you are their kids. This is what happens to someone who has Alzheimer's disease. My great grandmother already diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. She passed away when I was 14 years old. Therefore, I had no knowledge of the disease at the time. The only thing that I recall is that she used to forget everything, even though her own children. So you could say that I grew up watching the consequences of the disease on her life as well as the lives of her family. From there, I grew more interested of the disease. So I have decided to do further study in order to have a better knowledge of this Alzheimer's disease. So today we are going to see what is Alzheimer is and the symptoms and causes of Alzheimer, which would be the greatest method for us to overcome this disease and avoid this. So Alzheimer's disease is a form of dementia, which is just termed to describe loss of memory, language, problem solving, and other thinking abilities. Alzheimer's disease is a neurodegenerative illness characterized by memory loss. Along with it, essential living skills such as eating, bathing, communicating, and so on are included. So now we have got the idea of what Alzheimer's disease is. So let us look into their symptoms. I will explain on the three symptoms of the disease, which is mild symptoms, secondly, the moderate symptoms, and lastly, the severe symptoms. Alzheimer's disease symptoms are frequently identified in the elderly, and most individuals with Alzheimer's disease develop symptoms in their mid-60s. When the disease appears before the age of 65, it is known to as early onset Alzheimer's disease. It can appear as early as a person 30s, but it is very rare. Furthermore, Alzheimer's disease symptoms are classified into three categories, which I mentioned just now: mild, severe, and moderate. So, a person with mild Alzheimer's symptoms may appear healthy, but they are having increased difficulty making sense of their surroundings. Thus, some of the symptoms are memory loss that disrupt daily life, poor judgment leading to bad decisions, loss of spontaneity and sense of initiative, losing track of dates. So next, the moderate level symptoms. More rigorous supervision and care are required for these symptoms. These changes and growing requirements can be challenging for many spouses and families. Symptoms could include increased confusion and memory loss, withdrawal from social activities, inability to learn new things, difficulty with language, and problems with reading, writing, and working with numbers. So lastly, people with severe Alzheimer's disease symptoms are unable to communicate and are fully reliant on others for cares. As the individual approaches the end of their life, they may spend most of their time in bed as their body stops working. So common symptoms include inability to communicate, no awareness of recent experience of surroundings, weight loss with little interest in eating, and seizures. So now that we have looked into the symptoms of Alzheimer's, so let's look at what causes when you had Alzheimer's. So plaques and tangles were thought to be the primary cause of Alzheimer's disease. Plaques are deposits of amyloid beta that form between nerve cells, blocking signals and preventing the nerve from receiving the necessary material for survival. Amyloid beta is used in the healthy brain to aid in neural repair and growth. However, in Alzheimer's disease, this amyloid beta protein is overproduced, which disrupts this cell and eventually lead to cell death. When old cells die, they leave behind old memories and information. Because nerve cell blocking can prevent the formation of new connections, long short-term memories and not being accurately encoded in the brain to become long-term memories. So for the other causes is tangles. It is formed by twisted tau that accumulate between cells. Tau is used in a healthy brain to help support natural strength, and it is important in maintaining cell stability. However, a buildup prevents the cell from receiving signals and the supplies they require to function. This is called cell death, resulting in the loss of information and life skill. So, I want to raise about Alzheimer's disease, which is an irreversible neurodegenerative condition that gradually affect memory and thinking abilities, and eventually the ability to do the most basic tasks. Alzheimer's disease negatively affects brain function by destroying healthy nerve cells. So far, we have covered the symptoms and causes of Alzheimer's disease. Why not we talk about simple recommendations to prevent Alzheimer's in early stage? So, the first recommendation is plan your daily routine carefully. Some tasks, such as bathing, going to the doctor, are easier when the person is alert and refreshed. It is allowed for some wiggle room or as for unexpected activities or particularly difficult days. Secondly, do avoid falls. Avoid using scattered rugs, extension cord, and other items that could cause a fall, any fall. And install handrails or grab bars in high traffic area also prevent you from falls. Lastly is allow yourself plenty of time, which expect tasks to take longer than usual and allocate more time for them. You also should allow breaks between your tasks. To sum it up, Alzheimer's disease have proven to be complicated and stressful disease. There is no cure and diagnosis is frequently difficult. Alzheimer's disease cannot currently be cured or reversed, but an early diagnosis allows a person to live as well as possible without the conditions. That's all from me. Thank you.